Good morning, everyone. I hope I'm audible. So, I'm supposed to speak about corporate aviation strategies, and I'm excited to be here. I believe this is probably the fifth or sixth CJI event that more. Okay, yeah. No, Titan being participating. Of course, CGI is popular, and we are very happy that you're also moving to different territories of interest to Titan, and we look forward to have this relationship built with CGI as we progress. So, um, probably the sixth time that Titan is being associated with the CGI. Excited to be here. The most value creation from this association is that we walk away from these gatherings with a lot of networking, a lot of connections, and also able to share what we have learned over the years from different parts of the world. Titan is a very small company, been here 21 years. I never tried to promote Titan in any of these conferences, but I thought it's important that we speak probably about 3 minutes of who we are and what we do. So we are primarily an aircraft management company with multiple regulatory authority approvals. Uh, Management is a core business, but then we also have the second vertical, which is charters. We also do aircraft trading purely on a mandated agent basis, so we don't work as a broker. We work very closely with a lot of our friends in the industry who broker the aircraft. The fourth vertical is we also provide pilots, mainly the operating crew for airlines and some corporate aviation companies, although corporate aviation is not our core customer focus. The fifth vertical that we've launched in 2025 and then officially 2026 that we're going to be actively involved is an eVTOL management business. And, we had discussion in the morning about eVTOLs being introduced, and both Davids talked about the pros and cons or the confusion related to the eVTOLs. I think the technology is here to stay. I'm sure none of the authorities, whether it is FAA, EASA, or any ICAO members, wouldn't let eVTOL fly without meeting all the safety parameters. So it's a very simple, straightforward equation. So it's going to stay, and we are, as Titan, we are excited because we are getting into that space as an operator, and that's core. We want to operate and serve eVTOL aircraft owners. So we do already have a customer who has signed up with us, and we would be working with them to take them all around the world, wherever we are present. Again, I have something interesting. You learn from every speaker or every networking opportunity, and something that Alex mentioned from Hong Kong Jet today, very exciting. He spoke about the whole Asia Pacific market, and we are here because of speeches like that, because of data that is being presented by local companies, and that's what guides us, that's what motivates us. He mentioned about Singapore, great data, and he mentioned about India. Indian by origin, but we do business all around the world now. So it is very interesting perspective coming from a totally different background, from a different country-based operator. Amazing. So we have our team, my company president from India is also here. So I've been texting him when I saw the data, and I took a screenshot and passed on to him. He said, look, there's a lot of things happening in India, and we want to be part of it because we have an Indian AOC. I mean, a lot of people, a lot of my friends in the industry tell me that India is a very difficult market to go into as a foreigner. Yes, it is. But we are there, and we would love to collaborate with friends in the industry who want to create a base or establish something in India. Being a global player, we understand the sensitivity of working with different regulatory authorities, different origins of aviation professionals. So we are open to discuss. Our team is here 2 full days, and we would love to connect. Now let's talk about some corporate aviation strategies, and I would take this from a purely personal perspective. The reason being, Titan Aviation as an organization is not belonging to a corporate investment institution. It's just a family-owned, independent-owned company for the last 21 years. And with clear focus, clear guidelines, and very clear goals, short-term, long-term, we have grown the company. It's been now 21 years in the business. We started in Dubai in 2004, and barring Australia, New Zealand, I think we are literally in all time zones. And this took a lot of efforts. It took a lot of efforts of all the team members, and it took a lot of sacrifices, I would call it, and a lot of hardships too. But then look, the end result is we are here, 21 years and counting. Our fleet size has increased, our charter numbers have increased, our bases have increased, number of people that we are able to absorb as part of Team Titan has increased. So, it's a lot of positivity for us. I would run through, like again, one of the advantages of being a family owned is the decision making was very easy. I didn't have to go to the board for approval, except, I go to the company presidents to get an approval on some crazy ideas I have. I always, being consulted, because those presidents of the company are much older to me, so I need to respect them for their wisdom, their knowledge, and experience. But look, they understand my vision, they understand where the company is headed, and they've always supported me. And that's again, if we work as a unit, as a team, I guess we have been very successful, and that's one of the reasons for Titan's success. Now, I do have a presentation, but my nature is that I always go off the script. I like to talk from my heart, and that's how in Titan the decisions get made. We never use our brain to take decisions. 98% of the time the decisions have been from the heart. I should tell you, some people like it, some people don't like it. But look at us, we are here 21 years, we're still, God's grace, growing the company of all the hard work. So I think speaking from the heart has got a lot of relevance in our business. And therefore, I'm probably run through the presentation pretty fast, and I go to the last slide, which basically has a strategy discussion point. And based on that, we could have an interactive session, question answers. I'd love to do that. So all this 21 years, the first point is very important, the transparency in what we do. So if you ask me one simple or a single standout mantra of Titan's success so far has been the transparency that we maintain. And when you talk about transparency, it's not just about money, it is in the relationship that, so we always heard, all of us have heard the saying, speak the truth. It was difficult for me to understand when I started the business in 2004, because, naturally you always want to cover up your mistake. You try to be defensive all the time. But as we grew the business, as we expanded ourselves, I realized that there's a lot of value in being truthful to the customer, because you only have to speak the truth once, and we always did that. And that's what you see here after 21 years, that we are continuing to grow, continuing to have referral businesses, repeat customers. So repeat customers, referral business are nothing but part of what you do as a business, building trust through transparent communication. So that's been a big plus for us. I would move on to probably the next slide, because all of this is being addressed in the last slide. When you look at the market landscape, obviously we are in different parts of the world. It gives us a much better perspective of how the aviation or corporate aviation business works around the world. I remember someone talking about the people shortage in one of the previous sessions. So this is something that we are also addressing as a management company. If you take the case of Titan's own airplane, so what we did is when we picked up an airplane way back in 2018, we decided to send 4 youngsters for pilot training. We sent them, and then they came back. So when everybody else was suffering, we had our fleet protected because we had the long-term vision to have the aircraft flying without any crew issues. So that strategy way back in 2018-19 helped us that today our aircraft fly without having much of a crew issues because, and this is what we do now with the owners. We do tell them, well, some owners are still reluctant, but we do tell them about hiring the pilots because resources are important. Any technical, whether it's pilots, engineer, mechanics, so that's important. And also, while we are on this topic, I also want to mention about what Mark was mentioning about the engine programs. As a corporate aviation management company, it's my humble request to all the owners that we work with, please go sign up for an engine management program. That's a great value, and it's a value when it gets bad that the engine needs to go to the shop. And it's not cheap to maintain engines, and if you don't have a program, you're going to have a problem. So as a strategy, what we do as a management company, we of course request the owners to sign up for the airframe programs and the engine programs, and we see the value. 80% of the aircraft owners that we work with have accepted it, and it gives us as a management company a lot of relief when you have an AOG situation. Right now we have an AOG situation in Keflavik, and I know how Textron has been supporting us because we have a program. So we spoke about, Alex mentioned about APAC. I think it's the same. We read the market, we see the market. There are some new countries that he mentioned and which we would love. He mentioned about Vietnam, and we are very serious, getting into the market as well early next year. So yeah, this is like the master slide that we have when it comes to the strategies. I did mention about the trust and transparency, and that helped us to be here after all these years. And then we have different strategies for different markets. It's not that again, I keep saying this, one size doesn't fit all. So one strategy doesn't fit in all the market. So we work with our friends locally. We do spend a lot of time on ground. For example, our latest addition to our fleet, our base is Malaysia. And it took me about 6 years. So I've been visiting Malaysia every year since 2018, at least 2-3 trips a year. And then we are here now. We have signed up for aeroplanes in Malaysia, and we look forward to add more. And that's a Gulfstream, Falcon 2000, Citation, a second Gulfstream, and possibly a Global 5000. So we have been there. We've been talking to the customers. We've been talking to the owners, and that helped us to understand more about the market. And it's very different from Indonesia, where we have been having a base since 2020. We have a few airplanes parked there. So every market, every region is different. And unless you are on ground talking to the aircraft owners and the industry players, it's not going to be easy setting up yourself. So we have been very fortunate that, and again, this helps as a non-institutional company. Decision making has become much easier for Titan in this regard. Offering customized solutions, we work with a lot of owners who probably don't want a full management solution. They have their own in-house team. We come across a lot of that in the Asia Pacific market, and we are flexible enough to do that. We do give them an operation support, or they want a camo support we provide. So I guess as a strategy, it's important for all the management companies. I know some of the established companies, probably Jet or TAG or Lux might not have that kind of a strategy. But what I have learned over the years working with different customers around the world, I guess giving a customized solution helps to build the relationship, and you build on that. Probably 1 year down the line, the customer sees your value, and then you build on top of that. So I think we go with a customized solution and always have a feeling that the investor or the boss is always right. Transparent billing, I guess, is a very straightforward situation. We don't do any markup. There are some operators who do it, some don't. So we always have a strategy of taking operations deposit, and then all the billings are routed through the owner's office, so he gets to see the visibilities there. Especially if you send for a major check, you're talking about $600,000, $800,000 in a single invoice. So the owners do want to feel comfortable. So we always make it a point that the management company like Titan and the MRO is part of a group that's in discussion always at the owner's office. We also have a fleet insurance because of the number of airplanes, the value of asset that's being managed by Titan. So that's, again, a great value for some of the aircraft owners we work with. I have found that once we created an in-house insurance department, aviation insurance department with one of the veterans in the industry. So we are able to provide almost 30% cheaper than, and it's all, London-based underwriters. So it's all A-star underwriters, but great deals for the customer. I guess, as a management company, operators sitting here, if you could work with your broker, with the asset value that you hold, it's going to be great because at the end of the day, you are creating a value for your aircraft owner, your customer. So that helps in cementing the relationship further. And since 2025, Titan as a company, and again, this is applicable to other corporate aviation management companies here, that they're promoting charter. Not all owners want charter, at least in our case, 60% of the aircraft owners don't want their airplane to be chartered. But we do go and spend time with them. We educate them that an aircraft of such value staying on the ground doesn't add anything except a lot of cash outflow. So I guess we were able to convert some of our owners into aircraft charter customers, or rather aircraft being brought into our charter department, and since 2025 this has been one of our core push, and I guess this is something that you could do because somebody owning a BBJ or an ACJ, it's a lot of money to keep it on the ground. So if we can find a legal way to do the charters, I think it's a good strategy to have. Of course, it requires a lot of patience to go talk to them, spend some time talking to the owners. Not easy, but we are trying. So another, again, for when you talk about as a group company, having the multicultural issues, and I was having a chat with my team yesterday. They know, so the Malaysian team knows that we are from India, so they were trying to educate me that don't bring your Indian mindset to Malaysia. It's very different. So, well, I know she's laughing. So look, I think Titan as a company or any internationally present company know how to do the business. There are local culture, sensitivities involved. We are an Indian owned, but we have a global outlook because we have stayed long enough outside India to forget some of the habits that we learn in India and then absorb what is a global culture. And this business is global. This is not Indian business. This is not a regional business. This is global. So you need to have a global vision, global outlook, and everything that you do is global in nature. Profitability, I am sure those involved in airplane ownership business, charter business know about profitability. I'm not going to go much deep into it, but then there's also a set of people who would, talk about using the aircraft for non-legal charter, and I'm sure we have multiple discussions scheduled today and tomorrow, and our team is also going to be on one of the panels talking about it, so I think we can discuss more about it at that point of time. But it relates to the income generated from the asset. We would like to call ourselves a globally local, and that's like the tagline that we have been now promoting around our different bases of the world. I believe I summarized this, and that's where we are present. Yeah, I think that's what it is. So that's it from my side. I hope to have covered some of the strategy topics, and if you have any questions, I'm here, but otherwise, I think I'll leave the desk to Al.
That was great. Thank you. Thanks, Sikir. That's great.